From this video, you will get tips to prepare for NSE 7_CDs_AR 7.6 Fortinet NSE 7 Public Cloud Security 7.6.4 Architect. What is Fortinet NSE 7 Public Cloud Security 7.6.4 Architect? NSE 7_CDs_AR 7.6 Exam Format. Recommended Experience Level. NSE 7_CDs_AR 7.6 Exam Domains and Skills. How to prepare for NSE 7_CDs_AR 7.6 exam. 1. You are using Ansible to modify the configuration of several FortiGate VMs. What is the minimum number of files you need to create, and in which file should you configure the target FortiGate IP addresses? A. One playbook file for each target and the required tasks, and one inventory file. B. One YAML file with the target's IP addresses, and one playbook file with the tasks. C. One inventory file for each target device, and one playbook file. D. One text file for all target devices, and one playbook file. Answer: D. 2. An AWS administrator must ensure that each member of the cloud deployment team has the correct permissions to deploy and manage resources using CloudFormation. The administrator is researching which tasks must be executed with CloudFormation and therefore require CloudFormation permissions. Which task is run using CloudFormation? A. Deploying a new pod with a service in an Elastic Kubernetes Service (EKS) cluster using the kubectl command. B. Installing a Helm chart to deploy a FortiWeb ingress controller in an EKS cluster. C. Creating an EKS cluster with the EKSCTL create cluster command. D. Changing the number of nodes in a EKS cluster from AWS Cloud Shell. Answer: C. 3. Which statement about Transit Gateway, TGW, in Amazon Web Services, AWS, is true? A. Both the TGW attachment and propagation must be in the same TGW route table. B. TGW can have multiple TGW route tables. C. A TGW attachment can be associated with multiple TGW route tables. D. The TGW default route table cannot be disabled. Answer: B. 4. Your monitoring team reports performance issues with a web application hosted in Azure. You suspect that the bottleneck might be due to unexpected inbound traffic spikes. Which method should you use to identify and analyze the traffic pattern? A. Deploy Azure Firewall to log traffic by IP address. B. Enable Azure DDoS protection to prevent inbound traffic spikes. C. Use Azure Traffic Manager to visualize all traffic to the application. D. Enable NSG flow logs and analyze logs with Azure Monitor. Answer: A. 5. You have deployed a FortiGate HA cluster in Azure using a gateway load balancer for traffic inspection. However, traffic is not being routed correctly through the firewalls. What can be the cause of the issue? A. The Fortinet VMs have IP forwarding disabled, which is required for traffic inspection. B. The health probes for the gateway load balancer are failing, which causes traffic to bypass the HA cluster. C. The gateway load balancer is not associated with the correct network security group, NSG, rules, which allow traffic to pass through. D. The protected VMs are in a different Azure subscription, which prevents the gateway load balancer from forwarding traffic. Answer: A. 6. What are two main features in Amazon Web Services, AWS, Network Access Control Lists, NACLs? Choose two answers. A. NACLs are stateless, and inbound and outbound rules are used for traffic filtering. B. NACLs are tied to an instance. C. The default NACL is configured to allow all traffic. D. You cannot use NACLs and security groups at the same time. Answer: A, C. 7. How does an administrator secure container environments in Amazon AWS from newly emerged security threats? Choose one answer. A. Using Docker-related application control signatures. B. Using Amazon AWS-related application control signatures. C. Using distributed network-related application control signatures. D. Using Amazon AWS_S3 related application control signatures. Answer: A. 8. You are experiencing intermittent connectivity issues in a FortiGate HA cluster deployed with Azure Gateway Load Balancer. Traffic is being dropped when it passes through the cluster. What is the cause of the issue? A. The FortiGate firewalls are using the default maximum transmission unit, M2TU, size supported by Azure. B. The Azure Gateway Load Balancer is configured with an incorrect health probe port. C. The Azure Gateway Load Balancer is blocking large packets, causing traffic failures. D. The protected VMs are running an application that fragments packets. Answer: A. 9. An administrator would like to use FortiCNF to keep track of sensitive data files located in the Amazon Web Services, AWS, S3 bucket and protect it from malware. Which FortiCNF feature should the administrator use? A. FortiCNF Threat Detection Policies. B. FortiCNF Risk Management Policies. C. FortiCNF Data Scan Policies. D. FortiCNF Compliance Policies. Answer: C. 10. An administrator decides to use the Use Managed Identity option on the FortiGate SDN connector with Microsoft Azure. However, the SDN connector is failing on the connection. What must the administrator do to correct this issue? A. Make sure to add the client secret on FortiGate side of the configuration. B. Make sure to add the tenant ID on FortiGate side of the configuration. C. Make sure to enable the system assigned managed identity on Azure. D. Make sure to set the type to System Managed Identity on FortiGate SDN connector settings. Answer: C. Subscribe and like past question.